Personal development is dope. I don't care what you say. But I do understand that it can also be draining and this never-ending cycle of trying to improve. So today I'm going to talk to you about what you got wrong with personal development. So the first thing that happens is we start overanalyzing and overthinking everything. If this situation doesn't work out right, if we miss a workout, if we're not productive today, oh my gosh, the world is ending. But you aren't going to be perfect and every situation isn't going to be perfect. So I want you to remember that not everything is in your control. Sometimes you're going to have to deal with stuff and situations that just don't make you feel the best. And that's alright. Because personal development isn't about trying to be happy 24/7. Personal development isn't about trying to be perfect all the time. Now as you continue to develop, you'll be happier more often. You'll be able to deal with different situations. But you'll always be faced with new challenges and new circumstances. And sometimes you're going to get emotional. Sometimes you're going to have to be lazy. Sometimes you're going to have to miss a workout. Sometimes you're just going to have to be pissed off. But you have to let that be okay. You can't overanalyze and overthink every situation, everything that goes wrong. It's alright sometimes. Even these people preaching to you, they have their own issues too. They have their own stuff that they have to deal with. It's all good. We all do. Let yourself have some days where it sucks. I want you to just be. Don't overthink and overanalyze every situation, everything that's going on in your life, or you'll miss some opportunities. You'll miss the things that are good. You'll miss the things going on right in front of you that you can be grateful for. So the second thing we get wrong is we set these big time goals, which is awesome, but we get so overly attached to the outcome. We have to know what we want, but we can let God figure out the how it happens, the exact outcome. I was listening to this YouTube video earlier, and it was all about detaching from your goals. And the only thing that I could think of was like, yeah, let go and be free. Because if you're so attached to one specific outcome, you're going to miss the opportunity when another door opens. You won't be able to switch lanes because you're so focused on this one outcome. You'll block yourself off of even greater opportunities, even greater goals, even greater outcomes. So when you're so overly attached to a specific outcome, a specific goal, you'll miss the greatness of the journey. That journey is the best part. The growth, the improvements along the way, the people you meet. Don't miss those by being so attached and obsessed with one specific outcome. You may have to shift lanes. So the next thing that we do is we just read book after book after book. The goal becomes, I want to get 7 books in this month. I want to get a book a day in. For what? Because we think personal development has to do with just reading, but we're not really experiencing anything where the real growth comes from. We forget the real goal of reading these books. We need to learn. We have to use them to enhance our life in some form. So when you're just reading books to read books, and you're not utilizing the information in them, what are you really doing? I believe it's the fear of taking action. We think we need to get better and better and better to take action. I'm telling you right now, you're already ready. Learn along the way. Read the books as you take the action steps, as you go through the fear. This is what happened to me. I would just read a book, read a book, read a book. I'm not ready to take action yet. I don't know enough. Let me read more. Let me read another book. And then eventually you just get so burnt out of taking in all this information that you're not using, you stop reading completely. Read books that you're truly interested in. If a book doesn't work for you, put it down. I don't care. Pick up, get another one. I'm not telling you not to read. Reading is important, but actually use the information that you're reading. Actually use the exercises in the books. Enjoy the books you're reading. Don't just make it a goal to finish this book and finish this book and finish this book. I don't care if you've read 10 books. Actually digest what's in the book and take action on your goals and have real experiences. Now I learned a lot from books. I'm thankful that I got to read them. But I'm just telling you not to use that as an excuse to take action. Not to make reading the books the goal. Remember the real reason you're reading. To learn. To use the information to enhance your life. And real quick, I just want to talk about how when we're on this personal development journey, we start thinking everything must be positive. I talked about it a little earlier, but we're scared of any conflict. So we start avoiding conflict. We just don't say what's on our mind, what's on our heart, because we're scared of any negative situation. Sometimes we have to say what we feel, because if we continue to run from that conflict, it's going to create a war within ourselves. Maybe with your relationship, you start resenting that other person because you're not saying what you truly feel, because you're afraid of the conflict. You can ask my fiance. When we first started dating, it was like two bulls just colliding, because we weren't avoiding conflict. We had to deal with the situations. But one thing, we never resented each other because we said what we felt. If it's your boss taking advantage of you, not respecting your time, and you need to tell him, maybe you got to get that off your chest. Maybe you have to have that talk. And conflict doesn't have to be a combat. I think I read that quote somewhere. You don't have to make it a physical war. But talk about the things and speak up, even if it has to be a little negative at first. You can resolve the conflict, and then you're not dealing with it internally. So remember, try not to overthink everything. If you're having a bad day, it's okay. It's all good. If you're setting big goals, don't get overly attached to the outcome. Let yourself flow. And if you're reading books, actually use the information within, and then start taking action on your goals. Don't let the fear of taking action force you just to act like you're doing something, to waste time doing things that don't really matter, that aren't as important. You have goals. Let's take action on them. And don't just avoid conflict because you're scared of the negative situation. The resolution will be even more positive. Be even more peaceful because you won't have to deal with it internally. Remember, I'm here to ignite your passion. Be you and be different. Peace and one love always.